created for you Redux, which is a Bitcoin on-chain borrowing and lending protocol for BTC proxy. As we go to the app, you'll see on the left side a new menu item called Redux. You'll see the overall picture of the protocol in the total supply, the total borrows, and the available liquidity. Here we've supplied two assets and created two pools, the BTCPX and USDC. You can see the total supply, the native APY, or the interest rate for supplying that pool in its native currency, proxy mode 2 APY. This is an alternative to the native APY that you can choose to be rewarded in lieu of the native APY in case the native APY is too low. Here we have set it at 7%, and for USDC at 8%. Total borrows and the borrowing cost, or the interest rate, which is denoted by a negative at negative 10%, and the proxy mode 3 APY. This mode is a reward rate that's given to borrowers to offset the cost of borrowing. Here we have the total liquidity, the loan to value, and the price of the asset. One thing to note here is on the USDC, the interest rate for Redux can actually go higher for the suppliers than what's being paid by the borrowers, and that happens when certain conditions are met, and I'll explain that to you in the next screen. As we click through in the BTCPX pool, you can see on the market detail page that the supply rates are visualized here, the native interest rate in blue, and the mode 2 paid in proxy in orange. The borrowing interest rates here denoted in blue in native at -10, and the reward rate at +5. The utilization rates of the pool, as you can see, it's very volatile. We have been stress testing, and that's the reason why. The Redux balance box is here on the top right side. So what Redux is or has is a liquidity pool that functions in the background. The way that Redux works is that borrowers pay interest by deducting that interest payment from their collateral. So their collateral is used to pay their borrowing interest. Their collateral is sent to this Redux contract in the background. It is converted into the proper currency and then sent into the pool that they borrowed from to pay the suppliers. And that's how you get the native interest being paid by the protocol. It shows BTCPX, the price of the asset, the total supply in dollars, the market liquidity, the amount that's borrowed, and the collateralized balance. If you remember from the first screen that the total supply was about 30, 3.64 of that 30 is being used as collateral to borrow another asset. And therefore, about 26.4 is the uncollateralized supply, which is eligible to receive the native interest, which is shown here as 6.54. Come back to that. The number of suppliers is 3, the number of borrowers 1, the utilization rate of the pool is shown here. The native supply interest rate is shown here as 0.005388. That is actually Bitcoin, so this dollar sign should not be here. That Bitcoin is being paid daily into the pool. and it's coming out to a rate of about 6.54. The M2, or the mode 2 proxy interest, equals about 1,139, and that is being paid to suppliers that wish to get paid in proxy instead of the native interest. And so therefore, if some of the suppliers wish to get paid in M2 and don't get paid in daily native interest, the native interest receivers will actually receive their portion and boost the native interest rate. The borrowing rate is 10%, and for those that have borrowed, they are rewarded in proxy tokens in a daily figure that's shown here. So at the bottom, there's a function for you to now supply or borrow. You can click on this, and this is a dashboard, and it shows you on the left-hand side their supplies, and on the right-hand side their borrows. This is the overall view. They've supplied 596,000 in total, and they are receiving a combined or a weighted average APY of 48.94%. They're using 249,000 in collateral, and they're earning 0 in proxy mode 2 interest. That is selected here. In this case, this user has opted to use or receive native APY of 6.54% as opposed to the mode 2 as shown by this toggle. Here they've opted to receive the high USDC interest rate as opposed to the mode 2 interest rate, but they can switch if they move this toggle. And if I click that toggle, it opens up MetaMask to switch the mode. If you switch the mode, the native interest that you were due to receive is distributed to the ones that didn't switch, which will boost the native APY. We'll just close that out. Here at the top, you see the summary for their borrowing. They have a total borrowing of 242,000. They're paying 10% in interest. Their borrowing power of 41% is based upon how much they've supplied in total, and the reward for borrowing is denoted here, and they can claim by clicking this button. And so this protocol, Redux, was designed this way to concentrate the native interest to the uncollateralized supply in order to boost the interest rate and attract more suppliers. And as more suppliers come in, the pool gets larger, the interest that's sent to the pool gets diluted and slowly decreases. And if it decreases to the point where it's so small, the users can opt to receive a proxy at mode 2 APY, which in turn reconcentrates that interest to a smaller supply. And that's a summary for Redux. We hope to launch this when we're ready, and we appreciate you tuning in and checking in on BTC Proxy. Thank you.